Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, I have given you how you as parents, teachers, grandparents, how you can create a future identity of your child, because Allah has created that child fitrah, clean, good, and has the potential to achieve the best in life. It is you or us as parents, teachers, and society that mold or color that child, whether to be good or to be evil. So it is important for us, even in the worst of circumstances, in the environmental situation where we are living in slums, we are living where there are drug addiction, there are social problems, there are so many things that are so negative in many places of the world, whether it's in the Islamic world or in the Western world. We can see this going on, being played over and over again. As a result, this child, if is not brought up well, the fitrah is destroyed, and they become gang members, they become drug pushers, they become thieves and suicide bombers and all kind of things that is disruptive to the potential of that child. So remember, stage 1 is the most crucial thing, and that's why in our Khalifa method and in our positive Islamic psychology, we emphasize on this first. Because if we can tackle them from birth to 12 years old, inshallah, we mold them with a right future identity, a positive future identity of achievement, of productivity, of love, of giving. Inshallah, they will become a wonderful human being, and they live right up to the full potential of their capability as given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we explain this? All right? And how is this concept within the framework of Qada and Qadar is being understood? There are many ideas to it, but I'm just giving you a little chart of how you can actually direct your future identity based on the circumstances that you're on, and based on the environmental input, the social input, and your inner speech, as I see in our positive Islamic psychology model, and how you can mold your direction to become an achiever in life. I'm giving you a little chart, okay, for you to realize how this is being played. All right? Assuming you are going through life, okay? This is your baseline, all right? This is positive. This is negative. This is birth, all right? And this is your potentiality. So potential to be positive, potential to be negative. Assuming, all right, you start life, you're born in a slum where there are a lot of gangsters, a lot of drug addicts, and so you start negative. It's below. So your life could be negative, and then the trend could be you get worse, and then you become a drug addict, and then you go to prison, and then you die as a drug pusher or whatever it is, being hung for that. So it could be that way. All right, this is choice one. But it could be that you are born in a slum and in a poor area. Your parents play an important role. In my case, I remember my parents were very, very strict, and they didn't allow me to just free play like any other children. I was sent to the school in the morning, public school, and I was sent to the madrasa in the afternoon. So I have 2 schools to go, and I walk 3 kilometers to the primary school, back again, 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers to the madrasa, and back again. And by the time I come back, it's almost 6 o'clock. I'm allowed to play football, whatever I want to play with other kids. And then before Maghrib, just before Maghrib, I have to go home, all right, and do my homework and start the whole cycle again. So I have a full life, all right. Saturday and Sunday, yes, I can enjoy myself, go fishing, go swimming, go catch spiders, you know, and whatever every children would like to do. But the thing is, the parent is very important. So even the parent come from a slum area, they mold a child. And I remember my mother would put me on her lap, and because we are poor, she will have old magazines with pictures. I could not afford books. We could not afford books, but there are pictures of some political leaders or some people here or some bridge or some London Tower, whatever. And then she explained to me. I was on her lap, and she reads in Jawi script. She only went to 3 years of school, and she could only read the Jawi Malay script, not even the Latin script. And it was important for me. That moment was so important to me. Not only I had bonding with my mother, but I learned the ideal of reading. The idea that reading expands your knowledge. So my mother was very influential in bringing up to love reading. Until I grew up, all the time I was reading. And even today, the reading habit is infused in me. Every day, I could not sleep unless I read a passage or a page or two everywhere. So it becomes part of my life. Where does it begin? At the point when I could not even read, I can only see pictures, my mother would put me on her lap and she will read as for herself, but as she reads, I absorb this idea of the beauty of learning and the beauty of reading. So I may come from here, but I move up, and then I go to primary school, and then I go to secondary school, and maybe I join some bad gang, and then I go up again, and then like this, and then finally, this is scenario 2. It could be the same person. Mr. A, he became a drug addict and died, being hung because of a drug pusher, or he could be a professor. All is this within the realm of possibilities of Allah has given him. That means your qada and qadar with the realms of possibility. Realms of possibility, yeah? So Allah has given you that realm. The choice you make differs. Each and every one of us differ. So some people may come from here, come from a very rich, well-to-do family. Everything was given, everything just like our millennial now. Everything that they have handphone, they have motorcycles, they have cars. You name it, they have it. All right, and then they go to university, but then they join the wrong gang, and then they become a drug addict, and then they end up exactly the same. All right, so Mr. B started as a fantastic family life. Managed to go to university, but at university he mixed with those gangs and drug addicts, and end up dead in the being hung for drug addiction or joining gangs or prostitution or corruption or what, you name it. Anything can happen. So this could be one possibility for B, or B could be another possibility that he comes here, he goes up, he falls, but then he goes up again, and then he end up being an entrepreneur, and he become a billionaire. So Mr. B could have the second option. Okay, this is B2. This is B1. All right, so here in this case, he overcome the challenges in his midlife. He has his midlife crisis, he may have divorced from his children, but he recovered, and then he built up a relationship, and he worked hard, he built up an empire, and then he realized the purpose in meaning life. He gave away so much of his wealth that he realized that he manifests his life as a Caliph of Allah, and that is the realm of possibility. So each and every one of you that have that realm of possibility, and each of one of you must have a future identity. All right? So very few people understand this. Remember, Allah allows you to manifest your being to whatever that you want, because He is all-knowing. He knows the inner core of your being. If you do good, your qada and qadar can change. The pen of life, like Maulana Rumi says, the pen of life, having written, will continue writing until you go home to the realm of the akhirah. When you leave, that's the end of it. There's no more up and down. It is one-way street. Either you go to Jannah or you go to Jahannam. That is a promise of Allah. It is very severe promise, because the punishment of Allah is severe. Why it is severe? Because Allah loves you. Allah doesn't want you to go to hell. Allah wants you to go to heaven. So each and every one of us must project our future identity. For a child, the future identity is depending by the parent and environment. So whether there's environment here, the social context, it will affect them. But if they are molded with a strong inner speech of being the Caliph of Allah, striving to make themselves good, helping others to be good, making the world good, they will become a strong personality that will carry, regardless of whatever the challenges that they face in life, regardless whatever the difficulties in life, they have the trust in Allah, they have the purpose and meaning in the life. They have a future identity that is glorious, that is beyond them. Something that is so great that people will say, oh, he got to be crazy. Because everybody during the time when Rasulullah ﷺ received his message, they say, what do they say about Rasulullah? Because he says he's given the mission to all humanity, not only the Arabs, not the Bani Israel, not the Bani Arab, but all humanity. You imagine a man in the desert was given that responsibility, and he took that responsibility, and people around him call him mad. So people will call you mad, people will call you crazy, people will call you anything. They will pull you down, because that is the nature of the small thinkers. As a big thinker, as a Caliph of Allah, as a productive person, you rise above the occasion and show to them that you can manifest some goodness, and whatever level that Allah ordained, maybe you will not reach your peak. All right? Senior C, Mr. B also the same situation. He comes here and he's always like this. He only ends up leaving half the potential, but he's still on the positive side. He lead a good life, simple life. He harm nobody. All right? He's just a simple farmer. He brought up his children well. His children now are going to university and so on. But he intellectually could be a professor. But he did not reach that level of professorship. But it's still okay. He did not end up in the dump. All right? So the choice of your future identity is something that you have to understand. And this concept of projecting your future identity at the stage 2, 3, and 4 is very, very important. In positive Islamic psychology, once you are molded, you know your future identity, consonant with the idea of being the Caliph of Allah on this earth, striving always to make yourself good, helping others to be good, making the world good, inshallah, you become an achiever in this life, having success, peace and happiness in this world and the hereafter.